Okay, today is maintenance day on the R1200GS. This is a 2017 Rally, and I am going to start out by changing the spark plugs. And we are going to be using the recommended NGK LMAR 8D-J or 93444. I've already done the other side, and I may include some video of that in this video, but what I want to point out is I know I have to remove the top bolt on the crash bar and at least the lower bolt on the bottom, one of them, and loosen the second one, and that way it'll give me enough clearance to get this down far enough to get the cover off for the coil. And that coil cover is removed just by taking this one bolt out of here. And let's see if I can get you the bolt size. It is a T25, and then you are also going to need, well, if you have the same crash bars as I do, I needed a T40, and I think it was a T50, yeah, T50. The other thing that I've got going here is some dielectric grease for the tip of the spark plug, or the where the coil is connected, and then I've got some white lithium grease for where the coil goes back into the head, just to prevent some water from getting in there. There is a seal, but it seems that BMW uses a bunch of this white lithium grease on the seals. The other thing that you may or may not need is this tool to pull the coil out of the head, and this makes it easy. It just grabs onto the end of the coil and you can pull it out. There is a way to do it without the tool. You just have to gently pry behind the coil and it should come out. So anyway, let's get to it. I'll start loosening the crash bars and removing the cover for the coil. Okay, so I've got this crash bar loosened up far enough to get the coil cover out, and this just pulls back, basically. Pull it back and away, and that will expose the coil. One thing to note about the crash bar is there is a spacer back behind there, so you have to make sure that you catch that. And then there's a couple of bolts. The short one goes up on top, the long one goes down on the bottom, and then you do have to loosen this side up as well with the T50. This one is T40, and so is the top one. Okay, so now we can get to removing the coil and the spark plug. So first thing that you want to do is just lift this clip gently so you can pull your coil wire out of there. And then I have this tool which basically goes over the top of the coil. There's a little bit of a lip on there. You can get this coil out if you carefully pry behind here, but I would recommend the tool. It's cheap. You can get it on Amazon or eBay. The other thing I've seen is putting some zip ties behind this connector and you can pull out, but as you can see, I just slide this on here and pull gently and the coil comes out. Okay, that's simple. Now, of course, the next thing is getting the spark plug out, and we are going to do that with a 14mm socket. Okay, again, on this side, it didn't take much to break that spark plug loose. And here we can see the condition of the spark plug. Not too bad. These, you know, the bike's got almost 12,000 miles on it, and it is time to change them. And I just want to make sure on the new one that the top is tight. I don't know if these actually screw off on these. The other thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of dielectric grease on here, so just make sure I get a good connection there with the coil. And we'll go ahead and put this back in. This one does have a washer. And when you're putting it back in, just make sure you're not cross-threading. Okay, now the reason I'm doing this over on this side, I just wanted to show again on the torque. I've got two different torque wrenches, and I'll tell you why. This one, the bottom one, obviously is bigger. It's a 3/8, and this one is a quarter inch. And both these are Harbor Freight torque wrenches, and the torque setting for the spark plug, the recommended torque is 12 Newton meters, which converts roughly to 9 foot-pounds. And I've got this one set here, so actually there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 foot-pounds. and it's actually on the bottom of the scale on this 3/8 torque wrench. Now, in inch pounds, we're going to be at roughly 106, I believe it was. So I've got this one set up to 106, and that's about in the middle of the range here on this one. So this wrench is probably a little bit better for the setting, but both of them are not going to be equal. Okay, we're going to go with this setting here, which is roughly 106 inch pounds, and I will try the 3/8 torque wrench first. And again, my setting there is roughly 9 foot-pounds. Okay, it's clicking right there. And then we'll go to the 1/4 inch. Okay, and that required a little bit more torque. So again, you can believe whichever one you want, but unfortunately, both of them are not equal. And then lastly, before I button this up, I'm going to clean the hole a little bit. And then I want to put a little bit of this white lithium grease on here, probably a little bit excessive there. But basically I just want to make sure that no water will get in there. And then here we can just push this in until it is all the way home. And if you want to, you can put a little bit of dielectric grease on the connector as well. Okay, just make sure that that clicks in. And this thing does have some tabs on it, so just make sure that the tabs are fitted. You heard it click in there. Then just make sure you get that bolt back in there to secure your coil cover. And I'm not going to show you how to get the crash bar back on there, but just remember, long screw at the bottom, short screw on top with the spacer. So that's it. Pretty easy. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.